Hey everyone, today's deck tech is a very special one for me. This one is coinciding with my wife's and my announcement of our twins that are due at the beginning of January. But before I go into the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow me on twitch.tv/Jarvis_Moonbeam. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jarvis_Moonbeam, and you can follow join my Discord by clicking on the link in the description below. For this video, just to let you know, I'm only going to go and show the cards that are on theme. The cards that aren't on theme or the mana base, including lands, are not going to be in this video. But to start with, we are going and making a Riku of 2 Reflections deck. Riku of 2 Reflections is 2 green, blue, red. He's a legendary human wizard. That's a 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay blue, red. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may play green, blue. If you do create a token, that's a copy of that creature. So, first thing we're doing is twins. We have Adrix and Nev, twin caster. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. And it's a legendary merfolk wizard. Dreadhorde Twins has a mass 2, and zombie tokens you control have trample. Trueheart Twins has exert, and whenever you exert a creature, creatures you control get +1/+0. Desolation Twin, whenever you cast it, you get a second 10/10. Twin Bolt, it deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 creatures and or players. Twin Cast, copy target instant or sorcery spells. You may choose new targets for the copy. Twinning Staff, if you copy a spell 1 or more times, instead of copy it that many times, plus an additional time, you may choose new targets for the additional copy. And for 7 and tapping, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control, you may choose new targets for the copy. Splinter Twin, you go and enchant a creature, and you put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield, and it gains haste, and you exile the beginning of the next end step. Dictate of the Twin Gods has flash, and if a source would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Now we also have double or dual, so either it doubles it, gives it twice as much, or it has double or dual in the name. Dragon's Guard Elite. It's a human druid that whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And for 4 and 2 green, you could double the number of +1/+1 counters on Dragon's Guard Elite. Dual Caster Mage has flash, and when it enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Colonian Hydra. Trample, and when it enters the battlefield, it enters with 4 +1/+1 counters, and whenever it attacks, you double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Tanazir Quandrix, when it enters the battlefield, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. And when it attacks, you may have the base power and toughness of other creatures you control become equal to Tanazir Quandrix's power and toughness until end of turn. Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, if you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice that many on instead. That's the relevant text for my deck. Pest Infestation for XX green, disrupt to X target artifacts and or enchantments, create twice X/1/1 black and green pest creature tokens. Double Major, copy target creature you control except it isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. Exponential Growth, XX green until end of turn, double target creature's power X times. Shatter School of Smashing, also doubles as Shatter School this hammer pass, but for X red, it deals X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, it deals twice X damage divided as you choose among them instead. Double Negative, blue, red, counter up to 2 target spells. Doubling Cube, for 3 and tapping it, you double the amount of each type of mana in your mana pool. Alhamart's Archive, if you gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. Parallel Lives, if an effect will put 1 or more tokens on the battlefield under your control, it puts twice that many of those tokens onto the battlefield instead. Double Vision, whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Doubling Season, if an effect will create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead. An effect will put one or more counters on a permanent you control, puts twice that many of those counters on that permanent instead. Paradox Zone enters the battlefield with a growth counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, you double the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone. Then create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone. Mana Reflection, 4 green. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces twice as much of that mana instead. And then you have Copy Paste. What Copy Paste is, it's pretty much clone effects, where you are copying, where you're cloning a creature on the battlefield for the most part. So Phantasmal Image enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Glasspool Mimic enters the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control, except it's a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types. And then you have Glasspool Shore on the other side. Altered Ego, X2 X2 green blue. Colors are hard. It can't be countered, and you may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creatures on the battlefield, except it enters with X additional +1/+1 counters. Clone, you may have Clone enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature. Phyrexian Metamorph, you may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact or creature. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, you have it enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature. And the legend rule doesn't apply. Sakashima the Imposter, same thing as Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, where it enters in as any creature you control. But you could also, it also has the ability of 2 blue, where you return Sakashima the Imposter to its owner's hand. Spark Double, you may have it enter as the bottom of a copy of creature or planeswalker you control. Stunt Double, same thing. Body Double, this one enters as the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker, you tap it and create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste. Cackling Counterpart, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature. Mythos of Luna, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. If red-green was spent to cast it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent, except the token has when this permanent enters the battlefield, if it's a creature, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Replication Technique, has Demonstrate, but you create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control. Spitting Image, create a token. And then the card also has Retrace. Sublime Epiphany has multiple modes. The most important one for us is create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Helm of the Host, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature. The token isn't legendary if equipped creature is legendary, and the token gains haste. And that is the final card that is going to the theme, which is twins, or doubling, or having 2. If you look at the deck tech, you will see the mana base. We are playing a total of 35 lands. You will also see the artifacts we're playing and the other cards we're playing that don't necessarily fit what the main theme of this deck is, but does a lot to support that theme. Also, what are just the good stuff cards. So, normally I would ask you what you would do to make this deck better, but this deck is exactly where I want it to be, because it is so closely tied to a major event in my life. But yet again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.